Hello. Yeah, that's enough.
Are you Tarzan?
No, it's one of the stars. That was the famous thing for the intro.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, we're gonna review Scooby Doo Pirates Ahoy, which came out in 2006. Unlike this was back in the time when Casey Kasem was still voicing Shaggy and not Matthew Lillard. And
Tim Conway.
Tim Conway is in this. Arsenio Hall is in this. Kathy Najimy, who I think was one of the witches uh in that Three Witch movie.
Mm.
I can't.
Arsenio Hall.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Arsenio Hall is in it. Yeah, too.
Yeah.
The plot around this movie basically centers that Fred's mom and dad, and his dad is voiced by Tim Conway, um, have decided to arrange him a birthday. We have no idea how old he is. He doesn't say. We're assuming probably around his 20s, somewhere around there, maybe.
Mid
Who
20s, late
knows?
20s. Yeah.
Um, so they book this giant cruise, and to Scooby and Shaggy, all they think of is rest, relaxation, and round the clock buffet.
Food.
Yeah,
Food. Food.
and it was pretty funny how the mother is like, Shaggy, you're so thin. You need to eat more. And he says like 24 square meals a day. um, they then find out that the cruise is kind of like a murder mystery cruise or mystery
More
cruise
mystery, not murder.
where they've set up a whole bunch of like surprises and like mysteries for everyone to solve.
All the passengers, not just Scooby Doo,
And the gang,
Shaggy.
yeah.
Yeah.
However, the problem is that since they're kind of like professionals at revealing monsters and stuff, they kind of reveal what all 20 to 30 of them in 2 days.
Yeah. What usually takes a whole week's cruise. So.
Yeah. Um so at that point they're like, "You know what? Fine. We'll stay out of it from now on." And they think there's another mystery going on about how there's a stow or not a stowaway, a castaway, right?
Yeah, the guy that was floating in the ocean.
Yeah. Oh, forgot to introduce myself. This is Kay. My name is Movie Cat, aka Roller Coaster Rider. Um, anyway, anyway, uh, so they then go to a costume party, and the final outfit that Scooby and Shaggy dress into is very meta and hilarious. Don't say what it is, but I got a chuckle out of it. Did you?
Yeah, it was pretty cute.
It was a wink and a nod. Um, then they meet this magician who, or this hypnotist who, I guess the way I would describe it is if you remember Hanna Barbera Pugsley, he looks like Pugsley in terms of height, but for face he looks like who was the who was the dad for the Addams family? There's Morticia, who was the wife, and
Fred? No.
no, the Addams family.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. I can't think of it.
Topical. um, but anyway, I'll post in the credits who these people are. Um, at this point, so we find out that this person is a hypnotist, and he hypnotizes everyone except Scooby and Shaggy to
And the rest of the gang that's outside looking at the
yeah,
fog.
looking at the ghost pirates. Um, After that, it's a bit of an adventure where the pirates have kidnapped Fred's dad because they
and
think,
his mom.
oh yeah, and his mom.
Both parents.
But
Well, all the
they
passengers.
mainly go after
Really.
the his dad.
Yeah, because he's dressed like the castaway.
Yeah, and you'll find out why. Don't want to give away any spoilers. Um, Along the way, um, take a guess where they head. Take a guess where they're headed if they're on a cruise. Yeah, you figured it out. The Bermuda Triangle. Uh, one thing I want to say is that Kay spent several years working on a cruise ship. How faithful was it in terms of like in terms of like
The
how
cruise director, yeah,
yeah, and
she
the
was almost like
employees?
a cruise director, like on the Love Boat. She was very had something planned every hour, and if you've been on a cruise ship, that's kind of what happens.
Mm-hmm.
And she's got to be happy and get everybody involved and everything. So that's true to form to her.
To how people act on cruises. This is just our opinion and not the opinion of anyone that is willing to sponsor us or give us free stuff. Um, Along the way, they figure stuff out. They figure out about the Bermuda Triangle, about it. They figure out the villain's motive. Um, let's see.
Well, he wanted to find something in the waters
Yeah,
of the Bermuda Triangle, like a meteorite or something.
yeah, and the pirate is a huge fan of the Bermuda Triangle to the point of having like a ship that's been missing for over 100 years. And a should we talk about the island? Well, I guess we already have.
No, they
Not
when
not
the
the
cruise ship
not the
kind of went
not the
under,
big not the
not the island of coconut and banana.
that's the one I'm talking about.
Yeah,
So they decide to go there because Scooby and Shaggy smell bananas and coconuts, and they just zoom.
well, they didn't get dinner; it was interrupted.
Mm-hmm. Let's see what else. There are a few chuckles. There are a few. You figure out that Fred's dad is a bit of an idiot. Like he can't. Like he can't. He gets lost on his way to the bathroom.
Yeah,
Hmm. Uh,
which on a cruise ship you can get lost very easily to your cabin
I
or
thought he was
bathroom.
talking about like at his house.
I know,
Yeah,
he was.
but yeah. Hmm. Let's see. Is there anything else to talk about besides the big reveal and stuff? Scooby turns out to be more of like the leader, or like a lot of his things, a lot of what he does tends to help solve the mystery. Like he kind of gets them.
Yeah,
Oh, and we there's one person we haven't talked about yet, played by Ron Perlman, who's it's Hellboy, I think. Um, the
he's a millionaire.
yeah, if you know who Richard Branson is, he's pretty much he reminds me a lot of Richard Branson. You know, he's a billionaire, he has a jetpack, and he just does stuff because he's rich and he's bored, basically. Uh,
Yeah, he kind of states he wants to jetpack around the world.
yeah, set a record to be the first person to do that. Um, you figure out where you you figure out where the passengers are. I figured it out a few minutes before they figured it out, and it was kind of obvious. I'm not gonna spoil it.
Nah, don't.
Um,
But if you watched enough Scooby Doo movies, you'll figure it out.
no, I don't
Well,
think
it
that
took
doesn't
me
tend to.
it took me longer than it took you.
The passenger thing, it doesn't tend to happen. It doesn't tend to happen like that.
Right, but they took the passengers from the one ship,
Yeah, from the ship,
the first ship, and then the cruise ship.
which now that I think about it, doesn't make a whole lot of sense because during the scene where the pirates attacked, there were a lot of people that were attacking there,
Yeah,
even though they, don't tend to appear. Were they just like people that were doing other things besides eating?
I don't know.
Oh, we kind of gave it away. I kind of gave it away by saying that. Oh well. Um, I don't really have a lot of complaints. My only complaint is that it wasn't as funny as other Scooby Doo animated movies that I've seen over the years.
Yeah, so when the ghosts, the pirates come on the cruise ship, I really thought that there would be more running around, like a normal Scooby and Shaggy trying
Episode.
to get away from people.
Oh, one thing I do want to give them credit for is that this has 3 musical montages of chase scenes that which hasn't been in a lot of recent Scooby Doo movies. Um, I would say, nah, I wouldn't strongly recommend it. It's not my favorite one. I have a late. There's one that's going to be months in the future that we're going to review that I think is much better. Um,
But the fact that it had Casey Kasem and Tim Conway, it's kind of
and Arsenio Hall, who is almost unrecognizable.
right. True. True.
Like he's not saying strive to be the best you can be, strive to be number one,
Yeah.
and stuff like
But
that.
it's a classic with those two in it, so that's what I was gonna
It's
say.
not my favorite Scooby Doo movie, but hey, I wasn't a fan of Bridesmaids, so if you like it, go ahead. And do you want to say the Daphne joke that was on the cruise ship when she was running?
What joke? No, I don't get it. Oh, yeah, Daphne, she can be absent-minded and sometimes, but there was a window shop. She went window shopping for a few seconds.
Yeah, when she was being chased. So I guess that's our ratings, and I guess we need to do a hint for the next movie. Um, I've got it. What's that famous Beatles song? I say hello, and you say goodbye, goodbye, goodbye. Bye.